Hey, hey guys, Bobby Bryant here, founder and CEO of HomeHub. I want to continue the conversation. This is part three. If you guys haven't seen the other two videos, please look them up on HomeHub, um, where I just kind of break down the reason why a lot of prop tech companies have historically failed in the past. Um, y- you know, the first one I just kind of talked about all the different silos, right? About you, you know why the industry being number one, number two, and when I say industry, I'm talking about NAR, MLSs, brokerages, that downline, that MLM, if you will. And then when we start talking about you know uh number two, within that, and why they fail is really we start talking about the psychology of the business. And number three, we really just go into the psychology, the timing. Guys, there's so many reasons why. It's just such a layered bureaucracy of nothingness, and it is just beautifully has preserved itself. But I want to go into another topic on this video, um, and the reality of this topic is another reason why prop tech companies fail. And that reason is, guys, we can no longer keep the realtor at the center of the universe, meaning transaction. We can't. We can't. If any company launches right now in 2026, I'm gonna write this down as I say it. In 2026, with an industry that was created in 1908, we're talking about 117, 118 years ago, 86 years, 87 years before the internet was founded. And how many years later now? Oh, by the way, the internet was commercialized in 1994. And we talking about 32, 33 years later, and we're still trying to keep the realtor in the middle of the transaction. Like, what the what? What the what, man? Like, really? You know what that sound like? We're trying to keep Blockbuster open. No, no, even better. We're still trying to sell CDs and records to a record store and then make people go to the record store to get the records. So we distribute the records to the record store, and the record store market to the end user. And so when the end person come in to get the records from the record store, that's how we make our money. It is somebody had a smart ass idea and they said, why are we selling to the record store when we could just sell directly to the record buyers? Why are we giving movies to the movie store and we could turn around and just stream the movies directly to the people who want to see the movies without the fees and the penalties and having to rewind shit and take this big bloated tape cassette back in and get penalties and stand in line and get in their car and it's cold outside. Guys, guys, guys. And then here's the sad part. There are, and then the establishment, the establishment has people in suits who are fake evolvers, right? They're fake evolvers. So they act like they want to evolve the industry, but they are an 8-track in 2026 with a 2026 rapper. All right, what does that mean, Bobby? They're in a Pandora world, but they're really an 8-track, and all they've done is peeled the wrapper off, and they've like Chat GPT designed it, right? And so they're out here and they're really old school, but they're acting like they are really helping to evolve the industry, but they're trying to keep the agent at the center of the transaction. And if anybody says that, I'm going to tell you, you are a walking failure. You just don't realize it yet. And this is not a shot or a jab at realtors, because I'm pro realtor. I'm a broker myself. I own brokerage, and I got to own a mortgage brokerage. Like we have to figure out Could you imagine if Blockbuster figured out how to disrupt itself before Pandora did? Like, they could have disrupted themselves. They could have been Pandora. Matter of fact, they had a chance to buy them. See, you can't hold on to something so tight, right? You're making the wrong investment. The investment is to preserve instead of evolve. You can't keep the realtor at the center of the transaction in an era where the consumer has changed. You're not going to tell me a Gen Z is like baby boomers. You're not. Different expectations, different life experiences. The world is different. They had different catastrophes that have taken place that have shaped their generation. So therefore, we have to create for them. So what are their characteristics and habits? What do they expect from technology? Because these are tech native kids. And how should we create platforms that meet them at their individual need, not at our prehistorical needs? That's how we have to think. Well, I don't know if we're ever going to believe when we have computers, and we're never going to get to a point to where, so did the same person who never thought that I can go out here and take my credit card out of my wallet and go put it in a wall, right? ATM. Who would have ever thought that you can go take your card, put it in a wall, hit 4 digits, and cash will pop out of it? I'm going to give you another story. Who I remember, because I'm a nerd, right? I study history. I need to understand this thing for what I'm doing with Hōmhub, right? I remember when nobody wanted to buy sliced bread. What? Sliced bread? That's stupid. That's so stupid. Who would have sliced bread? Like, they tried to roll out with sliced bread, and it didn't go anywhere. It was a stupid idea. We buy loaves. Of bread. Put it in the oven. Who wants it? Just nothing comes out all great. I get my knife and I cut it. Then all of a sudden, Wonder Bread comes around. 20, 30 years later, 50 years later, like, sliced bread. And everybody's like, that's a brilliant idea. No, bro. They came up with this shit 30, 40, 50 years ago. Timing. That's my next video. Timing. It's the best ingredient, not money, not the idea. It's my next video. But guys, we got to get away from this belief system in 2026 and beyond. That we're going to keep, and we're going to keep the realtor at the center of the transactions. Guys, that's not. We got to figure out how to put the consumer in the center of the transaction and still be relevant. When I hear what is she, the CEO of NAR? And what was the message? We're fighting to stay relevant. I'm like, whoa, bro. Whoa. The president, the top hat of the National Association of Realtors said, we're struggling and we're fighting to remain relevant. Man, that's a hell of a statement. What do you know, bro, that I don't know? Like, it's a hell of a statement. It just kind of went over people's heads. No prop tech company starting now and moving forward, right? We done spent decades creating for agents. Here's the other problem with this. We done spent decades. We're trying to keep the realtor at the center of the transaction. You know what? I'm about to tell all the secrets today, right? We try to keep the realtor at the center of the transactions, and it's not one entity out here who have 10% agent buy-in of the tech. Keller Williams can't put it off. I'm in one of the best associations in the country called Houston Association of Realtors, and they provide every tool. Realtors don't need nothing but to just pay their membership fee. Our association provides everything, and you know what? Realtors don't use it. All my broker friends, right, are scratching their head trying to figure this shit out. You know why? Because realtors don't. I'm going to provide my agents with a CRM, and I'm going to give my agents that, and I'm going to give my agents that, and I'm going to give them everything that they need. Then all of a sudden, they start realizing my agents aren't using shit. I provide everything, and they don't even use it. You know why they can't use it? Because they ain't closing deals. Number one, they're not closing any business to use it. Number one. And number two, the ones that are killing it don't want to use your tech because they need the freedom to where if they ever decide to leave, they're not held hostage because they're using your tech. So guess what? And that's the issue. There becomes the issue. I don't even know why brokers try to provide everything. We're going to give them benefits for what? They're not even making money. We're going to give them CRM. We're going to turn around. Now we're going to do concierge service because you know what? They don't want to do it. So we're just going to do it for them. It doesn't matter. We got to raise the, why are we creating tools at this point? More and more tools when they have already shown that they're not even going to use it. They join you on a bell curve. I'm excited. So why are you joining? What are you looking for in a new brokerage? Because I want you to come here. I'm looking for a new brokerage because I need more tech tools and I need more support and I need to I'm just not getting the support that I need. I feel like in the technology, it's just so whatever, and this and the other. And then they all of a sudden, and you look over their shoulder and was like, damn, they're over at Keller Williams. Well, damn, they're over at EXP, they got everything. And they feeling that way, right? And then all of a sudden you feel like, okay, well, I'm special because they want to come to me and I'm the big daddy now. And then they come to you and all of a sudden they go through the bell curve. They come to you and they show up to every training. They sign and log into everything and they good. And all of a sudden they get this 60 days and then all of a sudden they get to 75. And then all of a sudden you don't see them no more. They're not showing up no more. And all of a sudden their enthusiasm is gone because you know that they do that shit at every brokerage. New brokerage, new me. Nope. Same you. It's the same you. You suck there, you're going to suck here. And that's how it works. So why do we keep keeping that in the center of the transaction? Why? But you know what? I'm going to close my record store and I'm going to go create Pandora. And then I'm going to figure out how to engage the realtor. Because again, I'm not anti-realtor. But what I am is pro-productive realtor. That's who I am. Pro-productive realtor. Give me the guys. I'm not trying to figure out, this is going to be tough. I'm not trying to figure out how to turn a loser into a winner. I want to help winners win more. I'm going to pause on that one. Okay, I'm going to pause on that one. I want to put the consumer in the middle of the transaction, and then the practitioners, the realtors, and people who are operating in the business, I want to figure out how to help them win more. I want to help winners win more. Is that a bad thing? Like I can't drag a horse to the water and make him drink. Like I give him the whole oasis, and then he won't drink. Like, what am I going to do? Why? I mean, do I have to care more than he care? Do I got to care more than the horse care about them? No. So I tell you what, I want a thoroughbred who wants to win the race, and they appreciate the oasis, and I want to bring more of those kind of guys around, right? So I'm all about the agent. Yeah, I am. I'm all about the agent, right? But how can we repurpose? How can we repurpose the agent? I'm not trying to be the be all. HomeHub is not trying to be the be all for the agent. We're not trying to be the be all, but if I can give you an extra 2 or 3 deals a month with that, right? To supplement, right? You may even have a bad month personally, but my 1, 2, 3 deals could actually carry you, right? It could supplement, right? See, the industry has to figure out, right, how to disrupt itself to remain relevant. The taxi cab companies had the same opportunity. They could have created and turned themselves into Uber. It's almost difficult for the guy who has the problem to see the solution because they're too saturated in the problem. They're too invested into the problem. Mm, mm, mm. So I almost had to maintain an inside but outside perspective. I had to be inside but outside so I can keep this balanced perspective. I need to be able to see it how the practitioner sees it, but I need to be able to see how the consumer sees it, right? How do I do that? Right? That's why you think people hire counselors? You sit on the couch. So how does that make you feel? Right? Have you ever thought about? I never thought about that. Then next thing you know, you paying somebody for help to solve your problems because you're in the problem. Matter of fact, you might be the problem. Guys, moving beyond, it cannot be a prop tech company or solutions that are creating, right, with the realtor in the center of the transaction. I gotta say right now, that's probably a losing formula. The realtor's not even using what's being given to them. They just have to have the desire. If it's three things I can't give somebody, even my own child, is ability, capacity, and desire. I can't give you those intangibles. I can't. I can't. God gave you that. Ability, capacity, desire. Like, you just gotta want it or want it. And if you don't complain. How's that working for you? Right, guys? So that's really my third thought on failure in the space is that I think you had a lot of companies that were creating for the agent. You can't be in the industry out here, guys, when statistically we know that 72-75% of realtors don't have a CRM, and that we know the reason why they don't have a CRM. The number one reason is they can't afford it. They don't have the money because they ain't making no money. So tell me, why are CRM companies popping up in the dozens? Like, I'm creating a CRM, it's better than the next. It doesn't matter because the pool is like 28%. Okay, cool. 28% of 1.5 million. So now you got all these companies fighting over, right? That 28%. They all trying to fight over the guy and gal who are making money to patronize their CRM. It's just amazing to me. It's amazing. And if I know this to be true, statistically, forget how you feel, because feelings are not facts. If I statistically know this to be true, then why would I create for that? When this majority, like, it's just, oh, I get it. Yeah, right now you get it. Create for the consumers more than them. It's only 1.5 million realtors, and 72% of them hadn't even closed a deal this year. But it's more consumers. There's more consumers out there. So put the consumer in the middle. And then the realtors who want to be a part of a solution, they'll show up. And therefore, you're helping winners win more. Guys, my name is Bobby Bryant, CEO and president of HomeHub.
Home Hub.